Tonight's episode of the 31st Lap Podcast is brought to you by DirtTrackDigest.com. If it's on dirt, it's on Dirt Track Digest.
This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode number 236 of the 31st Lap Podcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out with us for the course of the evening. We've got Tyler Siri joining us on the hotline. Outlaw Speedway wrapping up over the weekend their 2017 season with a huge banquet. Some very kind words that were shared at that banquet. A lot of the staff also recognized at the banquet down there in Watkins Glen. So we'll be talking with Tyler about that, and then also getting into a little bit of what is to come for 2018. Looking at upgrades to the track and also what the schedule might hold and what the season's going to look like down there in Dundee. So without any further delay, the one and only Tyler Siri joining us on the line. We appreciate you making some time for us tonight. Tyler, how are you?
Good, buddy, good. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Sure thing, man. Anytime at all. I'm sure that the off season has been kind to you with the cold weather and fluctuations in temperatures, and rock crushing has been staying, trying everything you can to keep up with all the frost heaves and changes in the terrain.
Yeah, it's been a good off season for us. Real busy on my crushing business side, so that's been really good, keeping us busy. And we put the racetrack away there after the last Dutch Hogue event, so everything up there looks great, and it's ready to go for the spring.
It feels like that race was just a couple days ago, and here we are now capping the season, recognizing all the champions down there at Outlaw, and conceivably we're just a matter of maybe 3 months away from getting cars on the track. It seems like the off season just went by in a flash.
Yeah, it does go by quick. I mean, since I have my other business that keeps me busy, but still, with the stuff that you do in the off season for the track and promotions and schedules, and it takes a lot of time to get your schedule going and finish that up, and then you got the first Syracuse show, then you're right into your banquet, and then we got 3 shows to do in March, and then 1st April you're practicing. So it's we got Florida coming up. We are going to go to Florida and race. We're going to leave next weekend, so I think there's not much of a winter anymore,
No, and your season went pretty late. You were one of the later tracks in Central New York. Gambling against the weather, things panned out for you ultimately in the end. And you alluded to practicing in April. Are you looking to have an early start this year as well?
No, we're going to have the same start that we did the last 2 seasons. Our spring national event, April 21st, I believe. I don't have the calendar or the schedule in front of me, but same as we did the last 2 seasons. I think our first practice might be April 6th, but you never know what the weather's going to do. You could have beautiful weather, or you could have cold and snowy. So we put 2 practices on the schedule, and at least hopefully we can get one out of the 2.
The importance of that is big, not just for the drivers, but for the track owners as well. It helps you streamline a lot of things, make sure that the track is ready to handle the rigors of all those laps being turned. In terms of where the track is at this point, does it give you any indication of what you might see when the weather does break? I mean, how much snowfall and frost heave and things along those lines that you see now? Does it give you any forbearance on what you might see when the cars actually get to the track and start turning laps?
Yeah, I mean, the track really looks good. It was, we put it away, like I said, in the fall, and, it looks really good. So I'm very happy that, coming into, the spring nationals that, the track is A1. It's tough when you put clay on something like what happened to us last year. You put clay on in the fall, and then it, depending on what the weather does for you, we had a lot of rain and snow and not much frost. It just made it so soft, and it was so cold temperatures in the spring that it wouldn't dry. So all that nightmare is over for us. Obviously, it was put away and it's ready to go, and that just is going to make life so much easier for us as a track crew, and it'll be perfect for the racers because they can jump right on a great track and ready to go. So we're really looking forward to the Summer Nationals for sure.
In terms of the year-end banquet and what you guys were able to do with that, you had 300 people turn out for that, and there was not necessarily any driver interviews, so to say, but as I heard, Matt Shepard took it upon himself to come out and commended you, the team efforts, and also the awards with trophies and plaques going back as deep as they did, and that had to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, that was real nice for Matt to get up and say that. It was funny because I was saying, man, what can we do to make this thing better? Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, we're selling it out. It's 300 people max, and it's a great event location wise for everybody, and the hotel is a perfect location, and the amenities and the service. I mean, they really do a nice job for us, and I'm just thinking back, what I can do to make things better there. And I gotta be honest with you, it's just awesome. It's just an awesome event. The one thing that we didn't do was interview the winners of the championship for each division. So we forgot about that, but we'll definitely hit that for next year. But like I said, Matt brought it upon himself to get up there and say a lot of nice things about what we're doing at the track, and that means a lot to me. You put your heart and soul into trying to make it the best place you can for the racers and the fans, and it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of money, a lot of time, and it's very nice that people appreciate what you're doing, and not just Matt, but everybody came up and shakes hands and just really appreciates the trophies and the point fund money and the championship point fund money. I mean, I've always said this in the past, is a four-cylinder guy and a modified guy are equal to me. They pay the same to get in the pits, and I try to have 6 or 8 specials for those guys, and that's the way I do business, and I think that's why we're successful. Is I take care of everybody that I can, and try to do the best that I can, and make it so everybody's equal and wants to be a part of your facility every Friday night.
So let's get into it a little bit. So the season coming up, one of the things that we talked about last year was the benefits of owning the track outright. There's no more concerns with that. You had that under the belt, and with the rock crushing business on the side, it was going to allow the track to be the goal was to have the track be a self-feeding monster. So what it generated, it was self-sufficient. You were able to ensure the track basically on the outside. You weren't relying on that for your personal income and stuff, so the track could be on its own 2 feet. Did that goal come to fruition for you for the 2017 season? Did that work out?
It did. Yep. Our weekly program was good every week, and our specials were out of the park. And it's the biggest thing is, and I'm sure Jimmy over to Weesport can rely, talk about that, is you could have the nicest facility, you could have the most cars, you could have everything perfect, and if Mother Nature doesn't cooperate, it's a tough deal, because not only rainouts, obviously you're losing the show, you lose the date, you got food, and there's just so much involved with rainouts and stuff. So we had a lot of Friday nights where they were we had rain, or they were saying it was going to rain, and it's tough. But financially the track did very well in 17, and real pleased with that. Obviously, it took a lot the first year to get there with all the renovations and rebranding and so forth. And but that's why we're so excited for this year in 2018 is hit the ground running. And we've got a weekly program stuff, really good. We got the most car counts, I think, of any of the tracks. And our special shows have been unbelievable. I don't know if you noticed the Fall Nationals was 390 cars. I mean, that set a record, and that was unheard of at any track to get that kind of car count. And then we killed it on that Dutch Hogue Memorial Weekend, 459 cars in the pits. I mean, that's just astronomical. And again, we had great weather for those 2 shows, and that really helps tremendously. But the support we're getting from the racers and the fans is just awesome. It's awesome.
That being said, how does that put you in a better spot? I mean, it seems like it would put you in a better spot. The rebranding part's done, and you've got a lot of your early season question marks now off the table. It already checked off the to-do list. So what does that free you up to focus on otherwise that you maybe weren't able to give your full attention to because of the rebrand, because of the renovations, and all the other stuff that was happening at the start of the 2017 season?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've got the pit stuff done. The track, your schedule. It's huge. Obviously, that's your key to success is your schedule.
Right.
And so now what we're doing is concentrating on the front stretch side, doing a little bit more things over there for the fans and interacting with the fans. We just finished up a major reconstruction of this monster truck that came with the track. We just stripped that thing down from head to toe and redid that, so that's going to be really cool for the fans, kids, adults. We're going to be giving free monster truck rides every week, Friday nights
That's
with
cool.
this thing. Yeah, you can put 16 people in the back seat of it, in the back of the truck, and it's a badass truck, and I can't wait for everybody to see it and get to enjoy it. And we got a T-shirt cannon in the back of it that shoot out shirts, and just a lot of the little things that mean a lot to the fans, and it's cool to be entertained while you're at the races. So that's what we're concentrating on right out of the box this year.
On the front stretch side of things, the wall now permanent, is that all squared away on the front stretch as well?
Yeah, we put that in the beginning of last season before we started, and when we added the new clay, the wall was pretty short to begin with before even putting the new clay down. So after we did that, then we put the new wall up, and safety first. Obviously, you got 410 sprint cars coming all the time, or not all the time, but we got two Tony Stewart shows this year with 410. So a lot of 360 shows, and I'll tell you, that track is so fast with the sprint cars there, modifieds and everything else. It's just you want to make sure that you got the safety aspect down. We don't want to see what happened to Volusia last year.
Right.
That was unbelievable what took place there, and I see that those guys are doing some major renovations on the wall fence over there for this year coming up, which is that's outstanding. But safety first. So,
are you adding any additional seating down towards the fourth turn at this point?
Actually, we are. I've had a couple engineers in there over the wintertime to give me some pricing and different things on. Our weekly shows were fine with our grandstand attendance, but our special shows, we keep getting bigger and more specials, and you definitely need the seating. We want to make sure the fans are comfortable and enjoy their time at the track. But we're looking at putting more stands in turn one down the front stretch. Before you get to turn one, we're looking to add some more there. We're looking to put some VIP towers. We got a big waiting list for the VIP rentals on the front stretch and the pit side. So we're looking to put some more of those in. Eventually, I like to take the front stretch coming out of turn 4, and I like to wipe that all out and make some big match it up to the main section there with VIPs up top. And I got some other cool ideas that I like to do. I don't know if that'll get done this year. I think for this year we'll probably do maybe an additional. I'd like to get at least 700 to 1,000 seats in turn 1 for this year, and then next year for 19, I got some pretty cool things up my sleeve I'd like to do over there coming out of 4 down the front stretch. So we'll see if we can make that happen for 19.
I can't believe that we're not even fully to 2018 yet, and you're already making plans for the renovations for 2019. Is this what you expected? I mean, have we got anything at this point that still is a surprise to you as a track owner with some of the planning and the amount of time investment beyond what you see when the cars are circling the track on Friday night? Does any of that still shock you anymore?
I would say that it's just rewarding to, I sit on top of my trailer with a cell phone in one hand and a radio in the other hand and a one-way in the ear, and I just sit back and sit on top of the trailer, and because I do the track prep now, so I'm out on the track, 3-4 times a night there, intermission, before hot laps, after hot laps, and then at the end of the night. But during the events when I'm not racing, I like to see what's going on, obviously, and help manage what's going on. But I'm always looking at things, what I can do to make better. I'm very impressed of how things have gone so far. As far as the participation from the racers and the fans, and there's always something you could do better, and we're always looking at doing things better, and what you can do, what the track will stand. I'm getting pretty close to where I want to be, other than the grandstand side, because Tony Stewart's show, we had, I don't know, it was the biggest crowd in 60 years. We had people parking 2 miles away. It's just so that's when I sit on my trailer and I'm looking at everything. We're maxed out on our pit parking. I mean, when you have 459 cars there, I mean, I don't know if you can get any more around. You know what I mean? We had them just everywhere. So I think the grandstand side for seating and some more amenities for the fans is the direction that I'm going to.
We had a question coming in online referring to the track and the postseason or off-season conditioning that happens to a dirt oval, and the phrase "put it away." What exactly does that entail beyond just sealing the track over so that nothing really gets through the surface?
Well, pretty much, do your grading and do your shaping up, and then pounding it really hard, getting it as tight as you can get it. So it's last year it was pretty loose, and that's why you had issues. With the rain and snow and stuff like that, and then you didn't get any frost. So that's a tough thing. But you just do what you can. You try to pound it hard and seal it up as hard as you can get it, and nice and smooth. And that's what you can do to seal it up. And then springtime. Just get it worked back in. Minimal maintenance then. So,
right.
Yep.
So essentially, I mean, you're taking a roller and you're packing that clay so it's as tight as possible, so it limits the amount of water that can get down into it. And as it dries, it becomes hard like a concrete surface, so that it sheds water and it doesn't let anything sink in as easy. Because when the water gets down inside it, especially if there's cracks and air pockets, that's what causes the lumps and the ruts, and it causes the clay to separate when you do put additional water to it and start turning laps.
Correct. Yep. A lot of times. Some fans might not understand this during the race season. If they say, "Oh man, it's going to rain Friday," and we're going to get a half an inch of rain or a quarter inch of rain, or it's going to rain before the races. Me as a track owner and every other track owner out there, I'm sure they do the same thing. Is the weather manager, you're on that phone, you're looking at the hourly weather. So if rain's coming, you can just seal the track right up and get it smooth and hard. And then the water just washes right off it, and then you're going to have a little dusty, hard track that night. People don't understand. Well, geez, it just rained. It's but if you have the track sealed up beforehand, and that's what you do in the wintertime, you just seal it up the best you can, and then you're ready to go for the spring. Gotcha.
Well, hopefully that answers that question. Let's turn our attention now a little bit to what we've got outlined. You alluded to the schedule, and there's a lot of cool stuff on there. Right off the bat, it's going to open April 20th with that Outlaw Spring Nationals Lucas Oil ESS. That's their points opener, 3,000 win modifieds. The Grit Crate Sportsman, IMCA Fast Shaft Series going to be there. You've already got the 21st of April established as a rain date, and then American Legion Night, part of a 7-division show, will round out April. That season opener, it's pretty hotly anticipated, and having the ESS 360s open their point season at Outlaw is that's got to be a huge feather in your cap right there for them to have that much faith in the track that early in the season, and fans are going to be chomping at the bit to see the 360s on that oval.
Yeah, we're excited. We love what Dean does with the ESS program, and those guys put on an awesome show, and we love to have them on board for our opener and with the modifieds and the other classes. And I'll tell you, it's sprint cars around that place is just awesome. The shape of it, and it's just fast, and puts on a great show. And with this clay that we have, very minimal dust. I got brag a little bit about it, but I just love sitting there watching sprint cars because honestly, it's hard to go see a sprint car show at other tracks, and it's just so dusty and you can't see them. It's
right.
You come to Outlaw and you watch a sprint car race, and you can see the whole thing, and it's amazing. I mean, the racing they put on is phenomenal, and what a way to start out your opener for the season.
No major changes to the schedule of this year. The big block, small block modifieds running together. Crate Sportsman, the Crate Late Model, Street Stocks, IMCA Modifieds, 4-cylinders, and the Hobby Stocks, all part of the regular menu. No major rule changes or anything at this point for any of the divisions?
No, everything's going to be the same as it's been the last 2 years. We've got a great rules package there that we put together, for all the divisions, and it just seems to work out great. And, the car counts show it. So
sure do.
Everything's status quo there.
The American Legion night scheduled for April the 27th, Mother's Day, on May the 4th. The Little League Baseball night is May the 11th. Active Duty Veterans, and that is scheduled for May the 18th, United Way night, again, part of the program. Oh, excuse me, let me back that up. Active Duty and Veterans night, ESS, is back on May the 18th, and then May the 25th, the one-on-one spectator races are scheduled, and that sets the stage for June the 1st, Gary Montgomery Memorial Night, the Rush Late Model Tour, and then the bicycle giveaway. That June the 1st date is going to be a very, very popular night on your schedule.
Yeah, that was really popular last year, and we had the Rush Late Models in there for Gary's night. And I'll tell you that they put on a hell of a race. You wouldn't believe the people that because we run them weekly, and honestly, that's a division that we struggle in. Just because there's not a lot of cars in the area for the late models. I know Winhall struggles really bad too, and it's just not like a sportsman class where there's a million of them out there. It's it's tough. So for our fans to see a full field of cars racing on that thing with the late models, it was awesome.
The month of June turns into a stacked weekend. After the Gary Montgomery show, you bring in Tony Stewart's All-Star Arctic Cat 410 Super Series, and then the Jeffrey Seals Memorial Race and the Mid-Season Championship is scheduled for June the 15th. And then the Short Track Super Series comes in on June the 20th, along with the Grit Sportsman again. I mean, that 3-4 week stretch for the month of June, you are stacked, loaded to the gills. Yeah,
that's going to be an exciting month for sure. We see people, they want the specials, they want the shows, the fans are supporting it, and so we're giving it to them. And I'll tell you, that Tony Stewart thing, I just can't wait for that. That's going to be unbelievable again. Tony will be in the house racing that night too, and it's just going to be awesome for that. And then it's pretty neat to bring back the Short Track Super Series. Brett's really got his program running in high gear now. A lot of support that he's getting with his series, and our weekly cars are his rules anyway that run his series. So the car count should be huge for that modified show. Plus, we're having the Grit Sportsman's there, which you're looking at 40 plus cars for the Sportsman's guys, and so that's going to be real exciting to see that race again at Outlaw.
It's going to be a stacked month of June. Taking June 22nd off in lieu of graduation, $12,000 Outlaw Fireworks Night with a bicycle giveaway scheduled for the 29th in recognition of the 4th of July. Boys and Girls Club and Drivers Autograph Night scheduled for July the 6th with another bicycle giveaway. The Super Dirt Car Series Ultimate Outlaw 100 is booked for July the 10th. That is in conjunction with the Grit Sportsman, and the Street Stocks going to be on the card that night. Nice to have the Super Dirt Car Series coming back for that date in June, or excuse me, in July.
Yeah, that's love what Mike's doing with the Super Dirt Car Series. The competition and the big blocks around there. You talk to anybody that was at that race last year, and they said that was one of the best Super Dirt Car Series races they've ever seen. It was just it was a phenomenal show. So we're real excited to have them guys back at Outlaw for another 100 lapper, and that's it's going to be an awesome show too. So we're excited for that one.
Spectator races on July the 20th, and then the Summer Nationals, the 27th and the 28th. No racing booked for the 13th of July for summer break. The Summer Nationals are going to be held on Friday, which is a regular 7-division show, and then Saturday the 410 sprints are back, 4,000 to win modifieds, the Grit Sportsman and the Street Stocks, IMCA, and the 4-cylinders on deck for that big doubleheader weekend, July 27th and 28th.
Actually, we're changing that up.
Okay.
We should have that out this weekend. What we're going to do, it's going to be a huge Summer National 2-day deal. So we're going to do the modified 4,000 to win show, but we're also going to do, we're not going to run the 410s that night.
Okay.
On Saturday. We're going to run a 360 Summer National 2-day event like they did back in the day with the Bully Hill Vineyards Nationals.
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah. So that'll be probably the biggest 360 show in New York State history is going to be that Summer National. So all the fans out there that like 360 sprinters, get your campers out and get ready for an unbelievable 360 show, modified show, street stocks, IMCA, 4-cylinders. It's just going to be a huge weekend. So we're really pumped about that.
There's going to be thousands of laps turned on the track that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
August the 3rd is NASCAR night, held in conjunction with NASCAR's visit to Watkins Glen. The Patriot Sprint Tour 360s on the card on August the 3rd. NASCAR night, always a huge night down there at Outlaw as well.
Yeah, that's an awesome night that they've been doing for years and years at the Speedway. And, it was a bummer last year because we got rained out. We got everybody there, and then we got a couple heats, I think, of the sprint cars and some of the other classes, and then it rained out on us. But that was a bummer. We had Kurt Busch and Eric Almirola and Ryan Blaney were all coming to sign autographs. And actually, they were delayed getting there because of the weather, trying to fly in. To Elmira and Ithaca was they actually had to go to Binghamton and land, and so that was a bummer because that was going to be a huge night for us, and so we're going to do the same deal this year for NASCAR, and matter of fact, we're just talking to Watkins International yesterday on doing some things too. So we really want to kick that program up another notch from what it's been in the past, and so I know the fans really like that weekend.
And then again, another night off on the 10th of August, which I like giving those racers a break through the course of the summer. I think that's a good move. Boy Scout night scheduled for August the 17th, along with another bicycle race or bicycle giveaway and the spectator races. Great night on August the 24th, Dundee Food Pantry night. That's got to be a big night, not just for the track, but it's also got to be big for the community and big for Dundee Food Pantry.
Yeah, it is. We donated actually 3 times to the Dundee Food Pantry last year. And I'll tell you, those guys are great group of people and what they do for the community. And I love doing, whatever we can to support them, and especially with food and so forth. And, I was talking to a guy the other day that, was very impressed of how quick and how far we've come with the track and car counts and fans and stuff. And it's very rewarding. You get to see all your hard work pay off and keep busting your butt to keep making it better. But I'll tell you, when we, honor these, the Salvation Army and all these organizations, the American Legion and the Dundee Food Pantry and just all these Boys and Girls Club, that means just as much to me to be able to give back to them. And, we're fortunate that we can get up every day and go to work and go racing and do this and do that. And, it's just cool to be able to give something back and help everybody else out too along the journey. You know what I mean?
That's it's a noble cause. No one will ever fault you for trying to help the community that you're situated in, and that's a big step right there. Is finding a way to incorporate those groups in, and I know any advertising that those guys get, they operate on shoestring budgets a lot of times. So any exposures they can get and increase awareness of what they do and the benefits that they give to the community that are often unsung is I know that's something that they definitely appreciate.
Absolutely.
Rounding out the weekly schedule is going to be September the 31st at championship night, double points. That's going to be a dramatic evening, but that sets the stage for a Labor Day weekend off, and then coming back for September the 14th with Tony Stewart's All-Star Arctic Cat Series again, modified street stocks, IMCA, and Grit Sportsman on September the 14th. So Tony Stewart coming back for the second time mid-September.
Yeah, I mean, how cool is that to be able to get these guys twice in one season, and to have Tony come and run. I mean, everybody loves Tony at my track. They've had for years. I mean, he's always been there. When he came in town for the Glen, and he'd even when he wasn't racing, he was up in the VIP tower watching. And
sure.
He really loves the place, and so that's huge for us to be able to bring him in and showcase him, and the fans get an opportunity to see him race, and so that's huge for us for sure.
Another huge night will be coming about 7 days after that when the World of Outlaws late models visit the track on Friday, September the 21st, part of the Outlaw Fall Nationals. 5,000 to win Patriot Sprint, ESS URC challenge race. The modified Gunslinger 50 is on the card. Grit Sportsman, both of those divisions, the Hoosier and the American Racer Series, going to be in action. 1,200 to win crate late model special, the Street Stocks, IMCA Empire Series, the 4-cylinder Super Bowl, 600 sprints, the hobby stocks. I mean, there's something for everybody on that big 2-day weekend, especially with the World of Outlaws late models making their first stop, one of their only, I think it's their only stop of the year to Outlaw.
Yeah, that was real big. I've always wanted to get the late models to come in up there and try to, fit them into their schedule. It's tough with these, these big national series. It's tough to get the right date for you that, they can come and do. Sure. And, you got to go with their schedule. So it's tough. And for us to get them on the Fall Nationals, which was record setting in 17 with 390 cars, you couldn't move. So to put these guys on the Friday night card of the Fall Nationals, and then Saturday night will be the sprint car portion of it, along with the modifieds on both nights. It's just going to be an awesome weekend and great for camping. That's another thing I want to mention too is the camping at Outlaw is just getting huge. Bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're loving that. You know what I mean? The guys can come. They're coming in Wednesday night, Thursday, and they're staying till Sunday. And we don't charge anything for camping. It's free, and it's really neat to see that thing grow and get the participation of the guys with their campers and stuff. So I'm sure they're going to really love the Fall Nationals for sure.
Awesome. That sounds great. And then the season wraps up October 19th and 20th with that Dutch Hogue Memorial 777 weekend. 70 laps for the modified, 7,000 to win, ESS Patriot Sprints, Open 3,000 to win division, crate late model special, the Street Stock Empire 100, IMCA event with the American Racer and Hoosier Grit Sportsman. Both of those classes are going to be in action. The Open 4-cylinder race, Outlaw style, and then the 600 sprints and the hobby stocks also on deck for that date, October 19th and 20th, which will round out the 2018 season down at Outlaw Speedway. That Dutch Hogue Memorial weekend is one that you thought you were setting records in September last year with the Fall Nationals, and turned around and destroyed it with the Dutch Hogue Memorial weekend.
Yeah, that was just amazing. That's all I can say. I mean, the track was phenomenal, the racing phenomenal, the weather phenomenal. I mean, you just couldn't ask for anything better, and to have 459 cars. I mean, honestly, you probably know better than I do, but I don't know if any other track in the country that other than Boone, Iowa for the Nationals has more cars than that, and we ran the program on Saturday, and we ran I don't know how many heat races and qualifiers and how many laps we put on the track. I have to figure that out because it'd be pretty neat to know, but right. The whole program was done at 9 o'clock on Saturday night, so everything just went perfect, so
that's awesome.
Hopefully we can duplicate that this year, and who knows, maybe we can even beat it. I don't know.
I don't know where you're going to put everybody, but I suppose it's possible. You're going to be pitting cars downtown.
Yeah, I built a new parking lot across the road. And, of course, we use that for our special shows. And I'm going to put a walkover bridge this spring for that, so people can just, when they park in that parking lot, they can just walk over the walk bridge, and they'll be right into the main parking lot of the track instead of having to walk up to the corner and then come back around. And so that'll be nice for the fans. And we get to use the town parking lot out back of the track. And then obviously they can now, when I put the bridge in there, they can come through my new lot and then just walk in instead of walking all the way up to the end of the road. So that'll be another improvement that we're doing.
Nice.
And stuff. And, one thing I want to mention, too, if I can, for the weekly competitor stuff, this year for the sportsmen's, and there's like 10 special races that pay over $1,000 just to win for the crate sportsmen.
Wow.
And then I think there's 7 or 8 4-cylinder races that'll pay like $500 to $700 plus $1,000 for the 4-cylinder guys. We pay $1,000 to win the championship in all the divisions, and then $5 for the modifieds. So for a weekly competitor, doesn't matter what class, street stocks, we've got quite a few specials for them. The late models, IMCAs, we've got 2 or 3 series races plus like 3 fast shafts that pay $1,000 plus to win. So, every weekly competitor in any class at Outlaw, it's pretty impressive what we've got put together for you guys, for your weekly stuff, and then all the special stuff too. And then we also have the modified deal. Talk about them for a second. The modifieds, there's like, I want to say 6 or 7 races during the year that pay $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to win.
Right.
Plus the modified championship pays $5,000. You got the American Racer Cup that Matt won as well. That paid $10,000. We got the Sunoco Challenge again this year. If you win 4 races, regular show races, with the winnings, because you're going to win the races, obviously, so you get paid for that, plus the $40,000 Sunoco bonus, so you can win like $54,000.
Wow.
Just for winning 4 races. I mean, that's more than, do the math. I mean, Super Dirt Car, Deo, their championship. I mean, if you win 4 regular shows at Outlaw, that's $54,000, and then if you get 3 out of 4, it's like 30-some thousand that a guy can take home. I mean, and all you got to do is be a weekly competitor and obviously win the races. But the competition is fierce too. I mean, and I don't care what class it in. I always say this, whether it's 4-cylinders or street stocks, sportsmen's, modifieds, IMCAs. I mean, it's hobby stocks are getting really good now. If you win at Outlaw, you beat the best. I mean, that's pretty cool to be able to say.
Absolutely. I mean, it's something to be proud of. It's an accomplishment in and of itself, and I know that local businesses down there are starting to get behind the track a little bit more as that level of competition comes up, and you continue to do stuff in terms of adding grandstands because you've got too many people, and adding pit area because you've got too many cars, and setting attendance records. Is there anybody sponsor-wise that you wanted to make mention of that's signed on already to be part of the program at Outlaw?
Yeah, first I'd like to thank all our sponsors that started with us from day one. That was tough when I bought the track. With the history there and so forth. It was people weren't going to come back and sponsor, and so it was a challenge for us to when I first got it to get sponsors, and people wanted to see what was going to happen, and now it's it's obviously taken off. But I got to thank all our sponsors and partners that have been with us from day one. And we picked up Lucas Oil, which is a huge sponsor for us for this year. That's a national company that we picked up for a really nice sponsorship. So we're it's tough out there. The economy's tough. Thank God Trump's doing what he's doing. He's definitely turning things around. And whether you like him or not, he's getting the ball rolling for the economy, and hopefully, that'll help out for more sponsorship and help out the racers, and people can afford to go racing. We need the economy for sure, but I just got to thank everybody that's involved. My employees, we recognize every one of the employees that works at the track, at the banquet. It's just you can have whatever you want to have, but you can't do it by yourself. And you're only as good as the people that are around you.
That's right.
And I can't do it I got an awesome staff. I tell you, you hire people, you fire some people. It's you got to go through to get the right team that wants to work good together, and it takes a year or two to get that ironed out. But I'll tell you, we've got an awesome staff, and I can't thank those people my sponsors, the racers, the fans that support us, because nothing is possible unless you have all those keys in place,
Sure, absolutely. And as long as things keep going forward, things are going to keep going forward. And you've got plans already for 2019. We haven't even turned a lap in 2018.
Yep. You always got to look ahead. You know what I mean? You got to see where your weaknesses are, or where you can improve. And it's there's a lot of racetracks out there, and there's a lot of places that people can go spend their dollar, and they can movies and just whatever. It's just I think it's a different era, obviously, now than what it was 5, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think you have to adapt to the times and just do the best you can and treat people fairly and be honest with everybody and respect everybody and, build yourself a clientele that wants to come to your facility. A lot of people are one night a week or a racer anymore too, so
yep.
You gotta do the best you can on your weekly programs, not just your specials,
You've got an active Facebook page. You've also got an active website, Outlaw Speedway LLC. .com, and on that is where all of the folks can get a hold of you in the event that they are looking to take advantage of some of your advertising opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Get on our website and the contact name and number, everything's on there, and we appreciate anything and everything, and if you can only do a little bit, that's great. We'll work with you. Whatever we can tailor your needs, sponsorship nights, billboard signs, whatever we can do to help you guys out, to help us out, we're ready for you. That's
fantastic. Sounds good to me. Is there anything that we need to double back and hit on that we might have missed?
No, I think you did a great job, buddy.
Well, it's always good to talk to you. We'll check in again as we get a little bit closer to the start of the season, and I'm confident that we'll run into each other as we work through some of the mall shows and in motorsports expos that are coming up here in the coming months. We've got Finger Lake Speed World on March 3rd and 4th, and we've got Motorsports Expo at the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse on the 10th and 11th. And you've got your mall show, or not mall car show, just after that, March 29th, 30th, and 31st, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yep. And if any guys, we're getting a lot of people already signed up for that. That's a great event that we put together last year at the mall, and it's really neat. We have a lot of the cars that are there, obviously, and you get an opportunity. It's nice. I like going to these mall shows because I actually sit at the table and get a chance to chat with people. And
sure.
When you're going 200 miles an hour at the racetrack, you can't see people and talk to people and stuff like that. So I enjoy going to the shows and selling T-shirts and hats and getting a chance to talk to the fans and racers. And we encourage everybody to come out to the mall show and check out what's new and exciting and look at all the favorite cars and sponsors that they have on their cars and support them. And make sure everybody comes out and sees us at the mall show.
Well, again, wish you the best the rest of the off season. Hope everything continues to go on a track that's smooth, and as you move towards opening practice sessions and getting racing up and going, we'll check in as we get closer to the season and look forward to catching up with you at some of these preseason expos before we get into the actual business of racing this year.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you calling and having us on the show.
For sure. Anytime.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tyler. We'll see you later on.
You bet. See ya.
There goes Tyler Siri with Outlaw Speedway. Good to catch up with him for a little bit, and really looking forward to getting into the action coming up here over there at Outlaw. A lot of good things coming on the schedule, a lot of good things to come. So definitely looking forward to that. That is going to do it for this edition of the 31st lap, number 236. In the books. We're all finished up with this one. We're going to be back again in 2 weeks to talk a little bit more dirt racing as we inch closer and closer to Finger Lake Speed World at Auburn Mall, and then after that, Motorsports Expo at the New York State Fairgrounds. So looking forward to both of those events coming up again the first 2 weekends in March. We'll see everybody then. Next week is going to be the Final Round Drag Racing Podcast with Jason Oldfield and myself. Looking forward to seeing everybody for that. We'll see everybody then. Thanks a lot.